Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of IBNW News. Hope you had a good one out there. If this is your first time here, we're a show that just likes to talk about news from a Christian standpoint. If this isn't your first time here, highly encourage you to like, share, and subscribe, as it really does motivate and it helps out a ton. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this. Well, first off, for anybody who was wondering, I was away for a little bit, and that was because I was at a elders conference, kind of learning how for our church to implement into an elder-led system. I thought that was really, really awesome. But anyways, you didn't come here for that. I just wanted to let you know what was going on and why we weren't here. But let's go ahead and jump into today's article, and that's going to be Russell Brand announces baptism after months-long spiritual journey, quote, taking the plunge. This article comes from the Christian Post, and it's written by John Brown. Brand says here, many returning to Christianity as the world crumbles. And that's a picture of Russell Brand right there. Now, if you are not familiar with Russell Brand, he is a person who, if you would have said about 10 years ago, he was not someone that you would imagine coming to Christianity or even thinking about Christianity. So you have kind of seen this transformation of him. Now, me personally, I don't really watch him all that much. I knew he used to have a very foul mouth. I don't know if he does anymore. Hopefully he left that behind. But I do know he's kind of taken his prior left-wing ideologies and kind of moved to a more right-wing side, it seems like. Beyond that, I can't really comment too much on him, but I just thought this was interesting as you see somebody who once was anti-Christian in a way. I don't know if that's proper terminology or not, but just definitely not Christian to now at least talking about Christianity. But what does worry me is the article talks about announcing baptism, but I don't hear anything about a, profession of faith. So I'm kind of curious to see how this article goes. So let's go ahead and start reading. It says, actor and comedian Russell Brand announced Friday that he is going to be baptized this weekend, the culmination of his months-long public wrestling with the tenets of Christianity. And actually has the video right here, so let's just go ahead and listen to it, see what it says.
Die and be reborn. This Sunday, I'm taking the plunge. I'm getting baptized. At the moment, I'm very curious as to what you who have been baptized feel about it, what your expectations are of the event prior, and what it's actually like. What's been explained to me is it's an opportunity to die and be...
Okay, well, just right off the bat, I do have my concerns. I'm going to let the video play on, but this almost sounds like he's going into this like it's an experiment or something. This kind of worries me.
Reborn, an opportunity to leave the past behind and be reborn in Christ's name, like it says in Galatians, that you can live as an enlightened and awakened person. Sometimes I think of non-Christian perspectives on it, like...
Oh, geez. Yeah. Let's just keep listening on. I was hoping it wasn't this, but let's just keep listening.
Marcus Aurelius saying, you are already dead, now live the rest of your life properly. Or the Buddhist saying, put down the corpse. All of these things seem so inviting and beautiful. I know a lot of people are sort of cynical about the increasing interest in Christianity and the return to God, but to me it's obvious. As meaning deteriorates in the modern world, as our value systems and institutions crumble, all of us become increasingly aware that there is this eerily familiar awakening and beckoning figure that we've all known all of our lives within us and around us.
Well, that part is very true. I mean, if people aren't looking at the outside world today and just seeing the decay within outside world, outside of Christianity, I mean, it's a giant arrow sign pointing to God. And it's honestly, it should be a giant wake-up call for a lot of people. So far, based off Russell Brand's confession, I'm not very certain he actually came to a saving faith, but more so is looking at baptism as that moment of saving faith. And I hope I'm wrong. There's a little bit more of the video left. Let's go ahead and play it.
And for me, it's very exciting. One of my concerns is I'm thinking about doing it in the River Thames. So I could be getting sort of baptized in toxoplasmosis and E. coli based on what I've learned. So I may be leaving behind the sins, but I might be picking up some pretty serious viruses. Let me know what you guys think about it and how you feel about it. Thanks. And be...
Okay, well, Russell, number one, I do want to say this to you, speaking to you, Russell. I doubt you'll ever watch this, but if you do, Number one, I hope and pray that you don't think that baptism is the means by which we are saved as a Christian. That true faith in Jesus Christ, that we are saved by faith through grace alone, Ephesians chapter 2, verses 8 through 9, that we are saved by believing in Jesus Christ, by having faith in him, and that can only come as a result of God's grace on us. Baptism not being the saving act, but rather baptism being the confession we make after that saving act, like kind of like you talked about, symbolically going down into the water as the old person and coming out as the new. So hopefully you have done that, Russell, and if not, I highly, highly encourage you to please reach out to a solid Christian. You could reach out to me for all I care. I mean, I once again seriously doubt you are watching this, but reach out, and I would love to explain to you what Christianity is and give you the gospel from my standpoint, which I derive straight from the Bible. But I do appreciate at least that, and now I'm talking to everybody else in general here, so I do appreciate what Russell is saying in the fact that he knows there's something different outside, and it seems like he's searching for it. And I truly hope, like I said, once again, that he has professed faith in Jesus, and he is really repenting of any of his sins, and he is now a Christian and doing baptism as an act of obedience to Christ, because baptism is an ordinance that Christ gave the church, Christ gave to believers, that we should be baptized. And I really, really hope he is not just viewing baptism as the means to salvation or anything like that, because if this was the kind of the testimony, I wasn't entirely convinced of that from this video. Let's just go ahead and keep reading on. Maybe there's some more here. So this part right here is basically just explaining what was said in the video. And then the article will continue on saying Brand's baptism comes after other videos he has been making in recent months about his spiritual journey to the Christian faith. In December, he told his followers that he was reading the Bible, The Problem of Pain, a 1940 book by C.S. Lewis that explores the role of suffering in Christian life. In January, he noted he was reading Rick. Oh no, Russell, don't do it. Don't do it. No. Oh, he was reading Rick Warren's The Purpose-Driven Life. Oh man. And hey, if you are still listening, highly, highly encourage a book for you. It is The Gospel According to Jesus, written by John MacArthur. That book is so amazing when it comes to just explaining Christianity. Rick Warren's A Purpose-Driven Life. Honestly, I read it years and years back, so I don't remember everything about it. But what I do remember is that when I was actually a Christian and I became a Christian, I realized a lot of the things in that book was pointing to, I don't want to say a different gospel, but it was definitely diluting the gospel a lot in that book. Like I said, it's been a long, long time since I read that book, so I can't tell you. But anyways, continues on. It says, and that he desired a personal relationship with God as he found Jesus Christ increasingly important as he grows older, despite once seeing many churches as either too, quote, old-fashioned or too modernized. Russell says the reason why I wear a cross is because Christianity, and in particular the figure of Christ, are, it seems to me, inevitably becoming more important as I become more familiar with suffering, purpose, self, and not self, he said at the same time. In March, he posted a video explaining that he had been visiting churches of various denominations with the intention of possibly getting baptized, and asked his followers their opinions on the sacrament. And it's an ordinance, not a sacrament. During the interview with Tucker Carlson last year, Brand said, like many desperate people, I need spirituality. I need God. I cannot cope in this world. I need to believe in the best in people. Acknowledging that he did not have enough self-discipline to resist the allure of stardom, he said, fell face first into the glitter, and I'm only just pulling myself out now. Brand faces multiple allegations of misconduct going back years, including one report that he claims he assaulted a 16-year-old girl after pulling her into an emotionally and, that word right there, abusive relationship. Brand has denied the very serious criminal allegations and maintained that while he was very, very promiscuous in the past, all of his sexual relationships were always, quote, always consensual. Okay, so just like I said throughout the video, guys, gals, if y'all are listening to this, please know that baptism is not the saving agent in which we are saved as Christians. And I know this is a hotly debated topic, but truly believe the Bible makes it very clear that we are saved by grace through faith alone in Jesus Christ. And I know there are passages out there that talk about receiving salvation, and immediately following that comes baptism. But there's also many passages that talk about receiving salvation, and baptism does not immediately follow that. I do want to make 100% clear, should every Christian be baptized? 100% yes. Every Christian needs to be baptized. It's an ordinance from Christ. It is one of his commands. We as Christians need to be baptized. Is it dependent on our salvation? Absolutely. No, it is not. I can't imagine somebody who professes their life for Jesus Christ, becomes a Christian, and then is driving to the church on their way to get baptized, but gets into a car accident, dies, and Jesus says, nope, you didn't get baptized. Sorry, it's a little too late. I can't imagine that happening. And honestly, we don't really need to look any further except for the thief on the cross in the book of Luke, where Jesus turns to him and says, truly, I say to you, today you will be with me in paradise. The man was never baptized. He never actually probably did anything good. The majority of his life, he was a depraved sinner all the way up until that point. But the very last hours of his life, he confessed faith in Jesus, and he was saved and is now in glory with Jesus, praising. So that's all I'm going to say on that. But yeah, we'll go ahead and follow up on this a little bit more just to see, because once again, I would love to hear if he actually made a profession of faith or not. Sadly, it seems like from the video that Russell didn't, but I am really curious. And Russell, if you are listening once again, I highly doubt you are, because you're a pretty popular guy and this is a pretty low channel, please, I would love to hear you talk about the gospel and your testimony if you have become a Christian. And if not, once again, the invitation is always open to reach out and have a conversation, because I would love to share the gospel with you. Anyways, that's all we got for today on today's episode. Hope you all have a wonderful one, and we'll be back on the next one.